J.D. Penn, or better known as BJ Penn, is a former UFC lightweight and welterweight champion. He defended his lightweight championship 3 times and has a 5th-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. During his career, he gathered a record of 16 and 14, which he finished 7 of them by knockout and 6 by submission. In this video, we will go over all his finishes during his MMA career. Penn was the first non-Brazilian fighter who won the World Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Championship in black belt division. Because of his accomplishments in the world of Jiu-Jitsu, BJ caught the attention of UFC and he had his debut against Joy Gilbert in the lightweight division in May of 2001. From the very beginning of the fight, both fighters started exchanging strikes. BJ was able to take Gilbert down in the first minute and stay on top for the entire fight. Eventually, Gilbert gave up his back, which made Penn to keep punching him until the referee stopped the fight. Few months later, BJ had his second fight against Dean Thomas. Penn tried to take Thomas down, but Thomas was able to come on top when they went on the ground. Thomas stayed in BJ's guard and eventually BJ was able to get up. As soon as they got up, they got into an exchange and BJ was able to land a powerful knee to the head of Thomas, which ended the fight. Next in line was Carl Uno. This was a short fight. BJ was able to finish it in 11 seconds in the first round with a powerful uppercut. Penn fought Paul Creighton next. Paul was a wrestler and great on the ground. In round 1, both fighters exchanged lots of strikes and took each other down continuously. In round 2, BJ landed a heavy knee which put Paul on the ground. Penn jumped in, mounted Paul and connected with a lot of strikes which made the referee to stop the fight. Penn fought Takanori Gomi next in Rumble on the Rock organization. In the first round, BJ dominated Gomi and was able to constantly take him down and be on his back. In round 2, both fighters connected on each other and took turns to be on top. In the first minute of round 3, BJ took Gomi down and stayed on his back for 2 minutes while connecting with punches. In the third minute, BJ was able to submit Gomi by a rear naked choke and end the fight. In January of 2004, BJ went to the welterweight division to fight Matt Hughes for the championship belt. In the first minute of round 1, BJ landed a right hook which made Hughes to go on the ground. Penn stayed on top and eventually took Hughes back. In the 4th minute of the fight, BJ was able to submit Hughes via a rear naked choke and end the fight. BJ fought in K1 MMA next against Duane Ludwig. From the very beginning, BJ took Ludwig down and was in half guard for 2 minutes until he switched to full mount. He kept connecting punches until in the 4th minute he was able to submit Ludwig by an arm triangle choke and end the fight. Penn went back to UFC to fight Jens Pulver next. In round 1, the majority of the time was spent on the ground. Both fighters had their time on top while connecting with the strikes. In round 2, BJ took Pulver down and mounted him. Eventually, However, gave up his back and BJ was able to submit him via rear naked choke. BJ fought Joe Stevenson next for the lightweight championship belt. Stevenson had a background in wrestling, but this didn't stop BJ to take him down. Right at the start of the fight, BJ connected with the uppercut which put Joe on the ground, and BJ was on top for the entire of round 1 while connecting with punches. In round 2, BJ connected again while standing, which made Joe to go on the ground. BJ took Joe's back and was able to submit him via rear naked choke. Now, Penn was one of the few fighters who held the championship belt in 2 different weight classes in UFC. To defend his title, BJ fought Sean Sherk next. Sean was a wrestler, but neither fighter tried to take each other down and only traded while standing. In round 1 and 2, both fighters connected on each other. However, in the third round, they were exchanging strikes when BJ connected with a heavy knee at the end of the round, which knocked Sean out and ended the fight. BJ defended his title against Kenny Florian next. Kenny also had a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and was a great striker as well. The fight started slow until in the last seconds of round 1, BJ connected with a right hook which stunned Kenny. BJ went in for the finish, but the bell saved Kenny. Round 2 and 3 was spent standing while both fighters tried to connect on each other. In round 4, BJ took Kenny down and was in half guard for 2 minutes until he was able to mount him. In the 4th minute of the round, BJ took Kenny's back and was able to submit him via rear naked choke and defend his title for the 2nd time. BJ defended his title against Diego Sanchez next. At the time the two fought, Sanchez had a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and was an experienced wrestler. Right at the start of the fight, BJ connected with a heavy right hook which stunned Sanchez and made him to go on the ground. BJ went in for the finish, but Sanchez recovered and the fight continued. Round 2 was spent standing without any major strikes connected. In round 3 and 4, Sanchez tried to take BJ down, but BJ was able to stay standing and continue to land strikes. In the 3rd minute of round 5, they got into an exchange and BJ was able to land a heavy head kick which opened up a huge gash above the eye of Sanchez, which made the doctors stop the fight for BJ to win his 3rd title defense. BJ next finish was against Matt Hughes at UFC 123. This was a short fight. BJ was able to knock out Matt with a powerful right hook at 20th second of round 1 and end the fight. This was the last finish of BJ Penn in the world of MMA. His ground game and the powers in his hand while standing will always be remembered by the fans.